Hi everybody, it's Az here from Heel vs Babyface, and I'm just flying over Zoitin village below me, which is in the very north of Kun-Lai summit. I'm heading out to sea because there's a brand new isle which has been added to the patch 5.2 PTR, and this is called the Isle of Giants, and it's going to become the very next quest hub in the latest patch. Now, so far it's unpopulated, but I'm going to take you on a little bit of a guided tour because it does have a couple of residents, and one of them is very, very important indeed. But before we get to that, let's just pan to the right hand side, because look at this vessel in the water, and this is a Zandalari battleship, and this is obviously what's going to have carried the Zandalari here to the shores of Pandaria, and it just looks absolutely amazing. Brand new design. Don't think we've ever seen anything quite like this before in the world of Warcraft. And if you look at the aesthetics that are scattered around the ship itself, and especially when I go below deck, it reminds me very much of Gundrak, which of course was another troll habitat in Wrath of the Lich King, but just looks absolutely fantastic. So it's going to be amazing when the NPCs do arrive on there, and I can imagine, due to its sheer size, that some of the daily quests will actually feature on that ship itself. Now, the daily quests can offer two things. They can offer both PvE and PvP questing, and if it does offer PvP questing, then it will set you up against opposing faction NPCs. However, you can also kill opposing faction players, and that will count as well. Now, the two factions which are going to be arriving here on the Isle of Giants is the Kirantor Offensive, which is going to be led by Jaina Proudmoore. And for the Hordes, because that was the Alliance one, you're going to have the Sun Reaver Onslaught, and that's going to be led by Lorthamar Theron. So if you've been doing the storylines down at Lion's Landing and Dominance Offensive, it looks like those two leaders, after some very conflicting thoughts, have finally decided to set firm their loyalties to the Horde and to the Alliance. And just looking again at the aesthetics of the isle itself, it does kind of remind me very much of Ungoro Crater, just with vastly improved graphics and textures and foliage. It just looks brilliant. Now, down here there is a very, very small black sanded beach, and to the far side we have the Horde flight path, and here we have the Alliance flight path. If you don't know what PH means, it just means placeholder. It just means that mob has been popped there temporarily. So the distance between the arrival of the Horde and the Alliance is in itself very, very close. But here's the most important resident on this isle, and this is Oondasta. What's my name? Oondasta. Sorry, that was terrible. This is a armoured up T-Rex by the Zandalari, and it just looks absolutely sensational. Now, I have looked at some of the bosses for the new raid, the new 13 boss raid, which is going to be on the Isle of Thunder, which is the one that's north of Townlong Steps. And some of the bosses there are very prehistoric. We've got a T-Rex, we've got a Triceratops, we've got another turtle which has been certainly pimped out, and the prehistoric theme is one which seems to be going very much hand in hand with the Zandalari arrival on this isle. But look at it, just absolutely stunning, and fingers crossed, and I hope this is the case, but there may be the potential, if you kill this rare elite, I know it's showing a gold dragon at the moment, I'm sure they'll change that to silver, but hopefully there might be a small chance to drop it as a mount as well. But that's one of two new world bosses which are going to be added. The other one, which is Nalak, is going to be added to the Isle of Thunder and will be guarding the latest raid. But there is a big change to world bosses, and it also includes the two current world bosses as well, where if it's tapped by your faction, anybody can join in. You don't have to be part of that raid group, so it's a lot more user friendly for people. And also the spawn time of the rare bosses is going to come down, so it's going to be a lot quicker for these to respawn, which will give people a lot more opportunity to defeat them. But the big change is you can only get loot off them once a week. But again, if you use your gold coins, they can still come into play and win you a piece. So again, just a little flyover of the isle. It's tiny. There are definitely some areas where you can see where quest hubs or where quest mobs could reside, but it is definitely, again, lending itself to Horde versus Alliance conflict, because there isn't going to be a lot of places for people to hide here. Even when we had the last lot at the Dominance Offensive and also at Lines Landing, there were plenty of places, even if you were getting to conflict, for you to literally squirrel back to your own home base. This looks like you're very much isolated on this isle, and if you come into conflict with the Horde or the Alliance, it could possibly be kill or be killed. People might not be so generous when it comes to these sets of dailies. So there we go. Hope you enjoyed the vid. Please do like, comment and subscribe to my channel. I shall be back with some more 5.2 stuff as it comes. Take care, everybody. Bye bye.